We are holding Eis Beis. We were learning about the two aspects of Tkiyas Shofar. We have the psukim of Malchis Zechroinus Shofars, and then we have the actual blowing of the shofar. That the blowing of the shofar is not just in the world of Dibur, which the psukim of Malchis Zechroinus the Shofars are in speech, are in Dibur, but it's also important to bring us down all the way into the world of action. That's the Maisa that has to be done. And the shofar itself has in it both components. First of all, shofar is about returning to the makir, because we have to draw down new chayes from the source. So therefore, tshuva, by returning to the makir, draws down new chayes for the source for an entire year. And then we draw down from that highest level of drawing down the chayes from the source. We're drawing it down all the way into the physical world. That's why we have to blow with a shofar gash. So now, Ois Beis, second page in the mind. Hinei loiz bovat shetzar klasiya gashmis. Vein maspiking not shuva beruchnis v'gam le'amir sapsukim. Not only do we need to have a physical action, and it's not enough to have a spiritual tshuva or just saying the 10 psukim of Malchis, Zechroinus, and Shofars. El shebezeh gufa ein maspik sheyeh kol pnima shel ha'adam. It's still not enough to be the inner voice of a person. But tzarich litkaya b'kol shofar shel b'heim bedafka. We need to blast, we need to blow with the sound of a shofar of an animal. B'yal pashut, either from an animal called a yal, where the shofars are straight, they're not bent, oy b'zcharim kfufim, or with those that are the males that have like bent shofars, like there are two opinions in Chazal. What is a better shofar, a straight shofar or a bent shofar? That both the opinion of a straight shofar or the opinion of a bent shofar are both words of Hashem, and both have a lesson and apply spiritually. Also now that now we blow shofar with a bent shofar on Rosh Hashanah. What they represent, their avodah ruchnis, we have both of them. Shall yal pashut. What's the idea of yal pashut? Kama the pashut inish daiteit fei malye. The more a person, his mind is like straight and simple and not complicated, that is better. What does that symbolize in avodah mavur? B'chsidus it's explained in Chsidus. That a person needs to unclothe himself. Pashut is also from the word removal, taking out, taking off, undressing himself from all of his own wills and interests and desires. We're not talking over here solely about unwanted, not appropriate wills. What does he even have to let us know? That's obvious. This idea that you shouldn't have untoward, unwanted wills was already accomplished through avoid in the month of El before Rosh Hashanah. The idea of a person having a straight mind, a straight will for Hashem, unclothed from all other wills, the person should remove himself from any type of form, even a form of kedusha, meaning I am the Talmud Chacham, or I am the Baal Tzedakah, or my specialty is in learning Chumash. Whatever it is, I do not form myself. I'm unformed. I'm open to all types of avodas. That which we draw down in Rosh Hashanah is from such a high level. It's coming from Hashem's very essence, and Hashem's very essence is beyond place and beyond the whole category of something that is formed and defined. Therefore, because what we're drawing down in Rosh Hashanah is from a place that's completely unformed and undefined, therefore there has to be the avodah of straightness and simplicity by the apashtas sheba'adam, through the simplicity in the person, the undefined, non-complex nature of a person, he draws down the simplicity, the purity, the essential state of above, until the ultimate level of unformedness of Hashem's very essence. That is the message of the idea of the straight shofars. The idea of the bent shofars, v'toikim shel sfarim kfufim, the fact we blow with bent shofars, ki kamet kaifin ish daitit fei malya, the more a person bends himself towards Hashem, the better it is, the Chazal say. What does that mean in the spiritual avodah? It's explained the Chassidus, avodah this kafi, it's the avodah of sublimating myself. Sublimating myself to something higher than me is even higher, hasn't it an advantage over the avodah of removal of one's wills, even good, okay wills, those that give him a tzir. This avodah is through the male. It says they're taken from male animals, those bent shofars. What is the idea of zachar? What does the male play a role in this? Each dietary lichbosh. The idea of a man is to conquer. That's the idea of iskafia. That's the idea of sublimating and conquering and being victorious over the klippos, nafshabamis, and so on. Ois Gimel, bottom of the page. This is what we said earlier, that the mitzvah of the day of Rosh Hashanah, what is the mitzvah that symbolizes what Rosh Hashanah is about? It's the mitzvah of shofar. Shaydei havoid the shofar of Beizai fan and the poshut, the kayev, through the avoid of shofar in the two methods of both being the straight removal of all the wills and also the sublimation, that each one has its own unique quality and advantage. We draw down a new light. Top of the next page, like it's brought down the Geras HaKodesh. We've had this already a few times. Every Rosh Hashanah, a new light comes down that was never there. By days in Nasa Chiddush through that becomes a renewal, the entire chain order of descent of all the worlds. Until even in the external part of the world, it's also renewed. Though the main novelty in Rosh Hashanah is the inner part of the world. That's why it's possible that while the Oir leaves, let's say on Rosh Hashanah night, and the new Oir did not come down until after Tkiyas or davening, how does the world survive? Because the external world still survive. It's the pnimius of the world that's getting a new chayes. But still in all, even though the newness is in the pnimius oilmas, by extension, the vitality and the chayes of the pnimius oilmas influences the external part of the world as well. Explain the siddur in the Maimer to understand according to the Kavan Baal Shem Tov. All of this happens through Yisrael, who is the nation that's close to him. You are children to Hashem, your God. Like the Mizritch Magid explains, at the beginning of both of these farm, concerning what the Chazal say, who did Hashem consult? He consulted Neshamas of Tzaddikim. What does it mean he consulted? Did he sit us down at a table and he spoke with us? But rather, that Hashem, it arose in his thought, the great delight that he will have from the avoid of Tzaddikim. That's what it means he consulted them. They weren't actually there. It means he imagined and saw what would happen. This made the Ratzon in the way of Ratzon HaMuchlat, what's called a very deep will, deep within. From this deep will, it came out to a revealed will. Afterwards, it comes down in the entire chain order of descent until this low world that there's nothing beneath it. Only through this was fulfilled the intention and purpose of a home for the That's what it says, say before me Malchis, so that you should make me a king over you. And how is this done? Through shofar. The meaning over here is to actually blow the shofar in the world of action. The mitzvah hayoyim b'shofar, because the mitzvah of the day is with the blowing of the shofar. In this statement, b'shofar, it doesn't solely mean the blowing of the shofar, but it's included in continuation where it says at the beginning, say before me Malchus, say before me Zechroinus, say before me Shoifris. So when it says Bameh b'shofar, it doesn't only mean the blowing of the actual physical shofar, it also includes Gam Amiris Psuki Shoifris, also the saying of the Psukim Shoifris. Especially that according to this, we can make the Argirs in the Gemara fit in with La Girsa, Imla Fani Malchis, Kedei Chulu, Zechroinus Kedei, Shoifris Kedei. So the Rebbe says it fits in the different opinions of how the Girsa and the Gemara is. Hine pasuk zeh v'yom simchaskum goymer v'tkatim chatzotros goymer u'hemshech v'asim ve'inin the lifnei zeh asel chashtei chatzotros. It's a continuation, a conclusion of what it says earlier that Moshe Rabbeinu was commanded, make for you 2 trumpets. We could read the word chatzotros as half forms. That Hashem and the Yidden are either metaphorically speaking, or it's not even a metaphor, 2 halves of a form. From this understood the meaning of the pasuk. It says you shall blow in the chatzotros. It'll be for you a commemoration before your God. I am Hashem your God. Inyan Malchis, the idea of kingship that's hinted in the pasuk Ani Hashem Elokeichem, like we said earlier in the Maimer, v'zechroinus, and the zechroinus that's hinted by where it says v'hoyel comes zikarim shenasai David katim chatzotros. It happens through blowing b'chatzotros. B'chatzotros v'kol shofar aril fnei Melech Havaya. With chatzotros and the sounding of shofar, you shall trumpet before the king Havaya. Migdash lefnei Elokeichem lefnei Melech Havaya hoyu shneim. In the Beis HaMikdash, that's why it says Ufnei Elokeichem, in front of Hashem, you had both. You had both the trumpets and the shofar. El Shemitzayim b'shofar k'mevur Mishnah, but the mitzvah of the Yom was with shofar, and therefore the shofar would blow longer after the trumpets stopped. Through the windows that were narrow on the inside and wide on the outside, so through that this was also coming out into all the boundaries of Eretz Yisrael and the entire world. Even at the time of Golus, the 2 things of chatzotros and shofars impact the entire world. Because Hashem and the Yidden are 2 halves of one form. But in who the idea behind this is the nefesh change B'Yisrael l'chelik kamal mamish, the second half, the second neshama and the yid is a part of Hashem above mamish. V'yidu, and it's known sheyesh b'zabeis ktzavis. There are 2 ends to this, 2 extremes. Ki mamish koi al chelik kamimal. The word mamish is referring to the pasuk that says chelik kamimal. Hainu shenefesh l'kish B'Yisrael l'chelik mamish matzmus v'muhusay. The word mamish comes to indicate it's really so. It's not just an exaggeration or a hyperbole. It's mamish this way, that it comes from Hashem's very essence. The essence, when you grasp part of it, you grasp its entirety. The word mamish also indicates the lowest level. Mamish, something that you could touch. That's what mamish means, something tangible. That's the meaning of that statement. Even when it's enclosed in a physical body. From the word mamish, from the word that's tangible. Mamish one with Hashem's very essence. Like the teaching of Shemagid that we spoke about earlier, that they're 2 halves of one form. And since you are called Adam because you are likened to above, moving it's understood that this is also to be found the two halves in the neshama itself. In Yidua Shem Nechol Neshama Yesh Beis Dargis Klal Yisrael Neshama has two general levels. Chelik HaNeshama Shalom Ma'ila B'chinas Mazel Rosh Shem Neshama v'Chelik HaNeshama Shu B'Guf Koich Sagiluyim B'Regel Shem Neshama. There's the head of the neshama, there's the leg of the neshama. Beis B'chinas Elohim Mashtei Chatzoi Tzura Shev'Kol Neshama Pratis. And these two levels are the two halves of a form that's in every individual neshama. Mersham will continue after Rosh Hashanah.